Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Razak, and today we're going to be focusing on functions and equation. Let's look at this example that will help us understand how functions and equations are linked. So let's look at this example where we have a function f of x is equal to x minus 2, and then we've got another function g of x is equal to 5 minus 2x. And they told me that solve the equation f of x is equal to g of x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write down f of x, which is x minus 2, put the equal sign, and then I've got g of x is equal to 5 minus 2x. This is a linear equation that we can easily solve. Now, what we can do is put all the x's on one side, so you can see that this is a minus 2x. I can take it to the other side by doing plus 2x and plus 2x on this side as well. And that would mean x plus 2x is equal to 3x minus 2 equals to 5. And the minus 2x and plus 2x cancels out. And then we can take this minus 2 to the other side by doing plus 2 over here, plus 2 on this side. And then we are left with 3x is equal to 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. Divide both sides by 3. And the value of x is equal to 7 over 3. And that's my answer. Let's look at another example. Now in this example, we've got a function such that f of x is equal to 7x minus 2. And we have been asked to work out the inverse function in part A. So let's work out the inverse function. So the inverse function would be, instead of writing, so I'm going to rewrite all of this, but I'm going to say y is equal to 7x minus 2. And then if you've watched my previous video on inverse function, I'm going to replace both of them. So instead of y, I'm going to write down x. Instead of x, I'm going to write down y minus 2. And now I'm going to rearrange this and make y the subject of formula. How do I do that? I'll take this minus 2 to the other side, and that becomes plus 2. So you will have 7y equals to x plus 2. And then divide both sides by 7. So you have y is equal to x plus 2 over 7. And that's it. And that's my answer. So my answer is f inverse x is equal to x plus 2 over 7. Now part B asks me to make both the inverse function equal to the f of x function. Now that would be x plus 2 over 7 is equal to the function 7x minus 2. And then you can see I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. When I multiply this side by 7, that means multiply everything on this side. So let me put this into bracket. The 7 and the 7 cancels out, so you're left with x plus 2 is equal to this. 7 times 7 is equal to 49x. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. That would become minus 14. And now we can easily work this out. We can take this x to the other side by subtracting x on both sides. And we're left with 2 is equal to 48x minus 14. And then we can take this minus 14 to the other side by adding 14 on both sides. We're left with 16 is equal to 48x. So we've got 48x is equal to 16. Divide both sides by 48. And the value of x is 16 divided by 48, which is 1/3. And that's my answer. X is equal to 1/3. Here's an example for you to try. So pause the video and give it a try. Okay, I hope by now you should have attempted this question. So as you can see, you've been given three functions. So you've been given f of x, g of x, and h of x, and you've been given an equation. So instead of f of x, I'm going to replace it with 12/x and replace the g of x with x plus 4, and then try to solve the equation. So it would look like this. And then if I rearrange this, it would give me x squared plus 5x minus 12 is equal to 0. If you try to factorize this equation, so usually we would try the factorization method. If we try to factorize it, we would realize that there are no two numbers which I multiply to give me minus 12. If I add or subtract, it gives me plus 5. So then we would use the quadratic formula. So using my quadratic formula technique, I have the two answers. So my two answers are x is equal to minus 5. So x is equal to minus 5 plus minus the square root of 73/2. Here's another example for you to try. So pause the video again, and when you're ready, resume the video. Okay, I hope by now you have attempted the question. So again, you've been given the function f of x is equal to 12/x, another function gx, hx, and you've been asked to solve h of x is equal to g, and then you've got 2x. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find out what g of 2x is, and then equate it to h of x, which looks like this. So that is my equation. If I rearrange it, it looks like this. X squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then again, I would try the simplest method to solve this quadratic equation, which is through factorization. I want to see if it works. And in this scenario, it does work. So my solution is x is equal to 2 or x is equal to minus 1. Here's a more challenging function question. Let us go through this together. So you've got the function f of x is equal to 8/x. And then you have g of x is equal to x minus 3. We've been also solve f gx is equal to the inverse function of g and plus 1. Now, the two important things that we need to look over here is the g inverse and the f gx. Now, the inverse function of gx, if you actually find the inverse function of gx, you would get g inverse is equal to x plus 3. And this f gx is equal to 8 over, instead of x, I'm going to replace it with whatever is in gx, which is x minus 3. And therefore, it's going to be x minus 3. Now I'm ready to solve this equation. So instead of f gx, I'm going to replace it with 8 over x minus 3. Equals to, the g inverse is equal to x plus 3. And then bring down this plus 1. Let's try to simplify this. So this would be 8 over x minus 3 equals to x plus 4. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a bracket, put this into a bracket as well, and then make all of this x plus 4, make it over 1. I can use my cross multiplication technique. So 1 times 8 is equal to 8, and then x minus 3 times x plus 4. Now I can expand this bracket, That would give me 8 is equal to x squared. X times 4 is equal to 4x, and minus 3 times x is equal to minus 3x, which means plus x. Minus 3 times 4 is equal to minus 12. And if I take this 8 to the other side, I'm left with x squared plus x minus 20 equals to 0. Now, I have to solve this equation. X squared plus x minus 20 equals to 0. So let's write down all the factors of 20. So that's 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, and that's it. Which two numbers, if I add them or subtract them, will give me plus 1? And that would be 4 and 5. If I make 4 a negative number and 5 a positive number, then that would give me plus 1. So that would be x minus 4 and x plus 5 equals to 0. So my two solutions are x is equal to 4 or x is equal to minus 5. Okay, that's it for today. If this video helped you, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.